Girls Five Ever, because we'll never stop talking about girls. Welcome back to HBO Girls Rewatch. I'm Amelia Rital.
And I'm Evan.
And
I did it tighter this time.
I don't know if you
This
can
is
tell.
take two.
I don't know if you can tell because my legs are really tan and I'm glowing, but we did just get back from Miami.
Well, someone was like, when I came back from Miami, they're like, you look different. I'm like, tanner? They're like, just different. I'm like, what does that mean?
I think going out in Wynwood changed you forever and not in a good way.
Oh my God, the quote unquote queer neighborhood that was inspired by Bitcoin.
If any of you out there listening are wondering, should I go out in Miami? Is that going to be my scene? I'm going to be honest and say, if you listen to this podcast, the answer is probably no.
Wait, in our defense though, and in those people's defense, we only saw 2 neighborhoods.
That's true. And actually, we did go to a popsicle place and the girls in the front of the popsicle place did recognize us. So maybe people in Miami have
2
some girls.
blonde 19-year-olds. We love you. We're reaching out to you. Oh my God, we have to talk about my friend in the pharmacy museum who I just went to the wedding of.
What?
When she broke the artifact.
Oh my God.
So I have an amazing story. I just went to New Orleans. I went to my dear roommate from college's wedding. She got married at 25. When other people do it, it's weird. But when she does it, it's amazing and awesome because she's so beautiful and she has that kind of look. She texted me the other day when she was listening to the podcast about Panic in Central Park. I was like, Charlie's the first heroin addict to gain weight. She found that so funny that she was holding a 200-year artifact at the Pharmacy Museum where she works in New Orleans. She dropped it.
The Farmer Museum?
Pharmacy, sorry.
She works at a museum about pharmacies?
Yeah, because I think the first pharmacy was like in New Orleans, and I don't fact check.
And our podcast made her drop a 200-year-old artifact.
Mm-hmm. We are doing change with this podcast.
It's
not
so
positive, but it's there.
She's so Ross from Friends coded.
She had to put it back together.
Dropping the dinosaur bone, calling up Rachel. Get the hot glue, get the hot glue.
I've never seen Friends.
You will. Trust me, you will.
Wait, please, I have to finish Vampire Diaries first. I don't have the time.
I got recommended so many one-season shows from 2011 that people are like, you have to watch, and I'm gonna. But I'm so excited for today's episode. I have to be honest. This Girls Ep is so powerful. Like,
it's your favorite one.
I have to say it was kind of
rumors are saying.
I think it was low-key my favorite episode.
Which is great because we did do a Dazed article. We did our top 10 favorite episodes. We didn't touch this one.
No, we didn't. We need to post that to Grid, by the way.
We have to post that to Grid. Amelia's doing another one for Gilmore Girls.
It's so cool when a guy slides into your DMs and asks you to do free work for them and you're excited.
Someone just reached out to me to be on a comedy show where it's all blind dates. And they're like, what's your type? And I described it. They're like, that's really earnest. I was like, oh, I do know what my type is. I didn't know.
I love it. Wait, to be known by yourself is so important.
No, because my breakup was kind of over. Like, I didn't know what I wanted. But it's like, apparently I do.
Elijah in this episode.
Okay,
well, there's so much to get into, and we can't wait to get into it with our guest. We will be right back with one and only.
No,
the one and only
Drew and Anderson.
Oh my God, it's Drew Anderson.
Hi, you guys.
Hello, welcome to our couch.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
I feel like this has been a year in the making.
No, it is a year in the making. We were just talking about this
because you guys met at a gay guy barbecue.
We met at a gay guy barbecue. There was just
past guest of the pod, Jake Cornell.
Yeah, yes, love Jake Cornell.
Well,
we were there.
You're friends with Lisa Traeger, yeah?
Yes, adore her. Saw her this week, just a couple nights ago.
Oh my God! Thank God she's back in the city.
Yeah, thank God we needed her back in New York.
She was a huge stepping stone for our podcast because once she was a guest, all these people that would never be guests suddenly would be guests. But when she was at our house, she was like, I'm going to go try and hang out with this guy, Drew Anderson.
You're kidding me.
And I was like, I know about him.
Full circle.
And now here you are on a couch.
Oh my God. No, it does feel full circle. I love you guys and I love Lisa. Like, it all feels great. It's a family.
And this
moment.
is fun for the listeners too, I'm sure.
What's that?
This is fun for the listeners too. Sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I
love it.
I did wear leather jackets. I was like, it'll be fun, but I've never been hotter in my whole life.
Are you going to take it off? Take it
off.
All
I have right now is like a shirt I rescued from a fire.
Really? Wait, you did?
Okay. Fire.
Esther Fallick's fire?
It's a metaphorical fire.
Oh, it's cute.
It's like
it's giving Marnie in this episode,
but not on purpose.
Yeah. It's like it could be like your shirt could be sold at Brandy Melville.
It was from an estate sale.
Okay,
so it's like it's actually ripped up on purpose, but it's like I think someone like used it as a rag, and it's like I'll take it. Or like, are you sure you want to buy it? It's like I've never been more sure about something my whole life. It's coming home with me.
Totally, I think it's really cute.
Thank you so much.
It's so Marnie in this episode.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, I'll say yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's dive in. Where were you when Girls came out, Drew?
Okay, so when Girls came out, this was 2012.
Yeah.
Girls came out in 2012. I was living in Chicago, and I was watching it with my roommates. I had 2 roommates at the time living in Andersonville, Chicago. It came on, and it was like such a huge show. And I think when it first premiered, they played it after Looking, I think.
Right.
Which was
after
also,
Looking, because they're trying to tie
or
the
maybe it
shows
was
together.
before. I can't remember, but it was that.
For
like,
people that
sort
don't
of,
know what Looking
yes,
is, it's kind of gay guy for girls, and they didn't really do that great of a job. And it stars Jonathan Groff.
Right. I think that's right.
Yeah,
they were played at the same time.
They were like, we have this great formula for people that have similar interests, and they're gonna do crazy stuff in a city.
Yeah,
and this city is San Francisco, and the stuff is like all gay culture.
Right.
It's kind of like a more modern take on queer ass folks.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I was watching that show, and that was where I was at. I was in Chicago, working at a brunch place.
Oh my god.
And just like that was like in my late 20s. So like it was very much my experience.
It's very other too.
Yes. Very much my experience watching that show. I was watching Girls. I was like, oh, this felt very true to me.
Were you aspiring actor? Yeah, you went to acting school.
Yeah, I mean, like I was doing more comedy, but I was like doing really terrible commercial auditions. Like I would be like going in for like, and the only thing I ever booked in Chicago was like I dressed up as a fruit fly for like an insurance company.
No.
Like, there was a clip. I can send it to you. Yeah,
I don't want to know if those are connected, insurance and fruit fly.
yeah. I don't. It was crazy. Like I was doing commercial auditions. I was like doing improv, and then found my way to stand up. But like,
does every improver have to do commercial auditions? It's like, is that a natural step in a career?
I think I think
I was really into improv in Toronto, and it was like everyone was in every commercial. Like every time the TV was playing, I was like, and that's Jason Deras, and that's Lisa Gilroy. Like it was so just like,
it's a great way to make like easy money. It's like you're usually doing some sort of job that allows you to have some flexibility. So it's like you can audition,
and you can like ham it up in a way that an actor wouldn't know how to add.
Yeah, totally.
Because they're sticking to the script.
And everyone wants someone with improv training. That's kind of a buzzword.
True?
Yeah. They want you to be loose.
But what do we do now in the age of not commercials? What are improvers looking forward to?
Gosh, that's the eternal question. Like, what are improvisers looking forward to?
I think they're really lost right now.
I think they're
honest.
lost. Oh, because there's no like haven for them.
They've always been lost.
Is there a theater now in New York?
Well, UCB's back, but nobody
back.
means it.
Oh, is that right?
I
don't know what the vibe
here,
is.
But
Second
okay.
City's
Gonna
here.
last.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
And the IO's teaming up with Brooklyn Comedy Collective.
They are?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Okay. IO was huge when I lived in Chicago.
I feel like really sad for the improv community because it is like there's a loss of belief in the system.
Totally.
And it's like Gen Z doesn't believe in the economy. They're not going to believe in the MLM of UCB. Like it's
totally.
over.
You're so right. Because like, God, it really is an MLM. When I lived in Chicago, like the amount of tears I shed as an artist, I would say like 80% went to improv. Not getting on teams, like crying over shows. Like you put your whole heart into it.
Like the tap out didn't tap out.
No, it's demented. Like and you're right. It's like, where does that lead to? Like, what avenues does improv lead to?
I'm gonna be brave here. I did start doing improv at 25.
Okay.
And that's okay for me to say that every podcast episode.
I know every podcast we talk to somebody who like improv was like a distant memory, and Evan's like, I'm in level 2.
Yes. No, it's great. But like all this being said, like all this hate, like when it's good, it's like so good. And if you do improv with people that you love, it's like, oh my God, it's it's
Wait,
the best.
I'll be honest. I snuck into my friend's level 2 class by saying I missed a different level 2 class. And I was like, can I please join? They're like, totally. You didn't really have to lie. You could have just joined. But the guy in my class was Caleb, who does all those tours of houses on TikTok.
Oh my God. That's so fun.
I'm like, so even people with successful comedy queers, quote unquote, are doing level 2 improv at BCC.
Why not? Yeah.
We need to dive into this episode.
Let's go.
Season 5, episode 9, Love Stories. I can't believe we're almost done with season 5. I feel crazy.
It's flying.
Gosh. But Tally Schifrin's back. Life's hearts,
TS.
minds are about to change.
My favorite TS.
Yes.
Let's dive into our minute to win it. We're going to synopsize the episode, and that is a word, by the way.
And away we go. Fran is so upset because he's losing Hannah, but he doesn't even like her that much. LOL. And then we skip over to... Wait, why am I forgetting everything? Elijah's buying a suit.
Yeah.
Shoshanna's being secret agent for Ray by saying, I know how to turn this little coffee shop around. I studied marketing at NYU and then went to Japan for the same exact thing. So she puts on a detective hat.
And then Marnie meets up with Desi for an 8-minute conversation in the park before what's her butt Monet comes back and is like, that's enough, Desi. It's time to like disintegrate from her. Disintegrate. That's a perfect word.
Totally.
And then Marnie has, oh yeah, of course, Marnie has a love dream about Ray and then is talking to Elijah about it and is like, should I go for Ray again? And it's like, no, babe.
Yeah. Okay. And then Hannah runs into Tally. They meet up. She's like, should we hang out? They go get hot dogs. They have a conversation about Mimi Rose. And then they hang out for a while and have a heart to heart. She inspires her to like get back to writing again. And then afterwards, Ray and Marnie meet up to talk. She says that she might be in love with him. And then Lena. Sorry, Hannah and Tally go down the stairs. Stairwell. They see Adam and Jessa, and they laugh.
And that's 1 minute.
Okay.
I have to say
So
that
hard.
closing scene of the episode is like
it's so good.
The needle drop
it's
with
all we
Zooey
think
Deschanel.
about.
God, it's so good. I love this
good.
episode.
Is the credits song Zooey Deschanel?
Yeah, of
I was like,
course.
this sounds like Zoe.
I mean, that's every.
What's
Is
her
she
band
and
again?
him?
She and him.
She and him.
She and him.
I was
and
like,
him.
she and her.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
That was such a moment in time. That sort of twee, like
I know.
You know,
Well, this is a
I
really
miss
singer.
it.
So I know it
they
doesn't
do
really happen.
Beyonce right before
Yes,
this, so
yes,
kind of the
yes.
real cusp area of
Yeah.
like we're leaving twee era, we're going into this really like hip hop era of all
Yep.
things.
Yep.
So it's a beautiful timestamp.
Yeah.
It really is.
They
really
smoke
is.
weed and suddenly we're in hip hop era. It's like,
exactly.
wait.
Oh, that was so fun. I forgot about that little montage where they're dancing. It's
oh
epic.
my god, it was so Broad City.
Girl, what girl are you?
Okay, in my heart of hearts, and this is like kind of hard to admit, I do think I'm a cross between two. I think I'm a cross between Hannah, but I'm more Shoshanna leaning, I would say.
Oh my god.
Nah.
And why?
I think that I mean well. I have a good heart. I'm neurotic. I'm a bit type A at times.
Mhm.
And also I like to kind of like make sure that everything is in order. And I think that
Right.
like that can kind of trip me up sometimes, but
Hannah
Yeah.
famously isn't even writing to-do lists anymore.
That's
So
right.
that's where your shosh comes in.
that's right. That's where my shosh comes in. I just think like I'm a neurotic Jewish guy, and I think like sometimes my mind is moving at a mile a minute, and it's hard to.
Wait, so I love the word neurotic. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's, we're now trying to make it a really positive word.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually so cool to be neurotic.
Right,
We have
right,
curb your enthusiasm. People are so into that term. But like before this, being neurotic was actually seen as a medical diagnosis.
Yeah, totally.
Can I just pause for a second? Is anybody else getting this targeted like real where a girl is like, I found a little medicine for my neurospiciness?
No, not
Like,
neurospiciness. No, I've never seen that.
It's a new word. It's,
The
it's
neuro-
neo.
And I'm like, I'm scrolling. I can't unsee it. I see it 3 times a day, every day for like months now.
You know what? Everyone hates the word neurodivergent. So I'm like, neo-spiciness is a little bit more fun.
I guess it's a little bit more fun.
I know, because neurodivergent, it's like, okay, I'm neurodivergent. We always think autistic.
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
can be
yeah.
so many different things.
Right.
But neurospiciness, it's like, that girl just wants to have a little fun. She's the 6 Spice member.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, let's add her to the mix. Please.
No, help. Have you always been a Hannah Shosh?
Have you always
I
been
think
neurotic?
so. I've always been neurotic. Oh yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
What was
yeah,
that like
yeah.
as a child?
Well, I think it just came out differently when I was a kid. I think that like
Uh-huh.
I was just obviously nervous because I was gay and didn't
So
really
you're
know how to
Westchester,
interact.
you're gay in
Westchester.
the closet.
Exactly.
Oh my god, and you're neurotic.
I'm
Neurotic.
sitting between a mirror.
I know.
Whoa.
I know because you're also a Westchester.
I'm a Westchester.
Yeah,
guy.
Westchester guy. So it was
Please.
like I felt like when I was a kid, I was like, I remember whenever I would wear long sleeve shirts, like similar to the one you're wearing, I would always like bite and like chew on
Wait,
my
wait.
shirts.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That's my story.
That's your story. You're
That's my
joking
story.
me.
I wish I was joking.
Are you kidding?
When I'd always like,
Holes. My mom would be like, "What are you doing? Like, are you okay?" And I was like, "No, like."
is it amazing
no.
we both don't
I was just
vape?
so nervous. Yes,
It's amazing we
It
both
was-
don't vape because we love oral fixation.
That's
but
right.
It's just cloth in our mouth.
that's right. I would.
I'm
chew,
so proud of
chew,
you two
chew.
for not
Yeah.
being taken by the vape nation.
No, I'm not. I mean, certainly I've got to do
oh
other
my God,
things.
we have the same.
Yeah.
Okay, freshman year, I don't know. This is your experience. I was both the shortest kid in my grade, and every single day, even didn't matter the weather outside, 90 degrees, 30 degrees, I was wearing long sleeve t-shirt and then short sleeve t-shirt over the long sleeve t-shirt.
Do you think like
because I scared my arms.
Oh, you were nervous. Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't neurotic though.
You weren't neurotic. It was more. This is more anxiety.
I'm too neurospicy to be neurotic. I think.
Yeah.
Girl, what girl are you?
Wait, I'm so Elijah. I'm really feeling that because finally we get a. I'm like,
oh my God, we didn't even talk about Elijah in our synopsis.
Oh yeah, we didn't with Dill. Of course.
Really quick, he shows up he gets a new suit at a 60% off store, and then he walks into Dill's work and is like, we need to talk. And he basically is like, you need a boyfriend and you need it to be me. And Dill's like, actually, you're right. I do need a boyfriend and it's not you because you're aimless.
I mean, that was like
knife to the chest.
Heartbreaking. And it's such a cool moment for the character too, because he's never really like dug his heels in and like really had a moment to like bare his soul over the course of the show. It broke my heart.
I literally tweeted this morning watching it. Andrew Rannells is a revelation.
I mean, he's so good on that show. And
I know.
He's so fucking
literally.
funny. And this scene was like, like totally heartbreaking.
I mean, it was literally so cinema.
When I watched the Brandy Melville documentary this week, I know that's how it's gonna feel.
Oh my God, I can't wait to watch that.
It's gonna feel like that.
Brandy
Utter rejection and hell.
Yeah.
Wait, so why are you Elijah? Because you're confessing your love to a TV anchor?
Oh, I'm like, wait, can I be Tally? No, I'm not Tally though. I'm Hannah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, I don't always see myself in the show, so to every week I have to be like, and now here I am.
Okay, yeah, totally.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know who I am? I'm Tamansha. What's her name?
What, Tamarin? Tandis.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm so Tandis coded. Like I'm like 8 minutes up.
I love that when she's like, when she brings in the tea and she's like, I brought you tea. Like, how does that make you feel?
Wait, I'm Shoshanna. I'm such. I'm so sorry to go through every single.
No,
and I've never done this before except every other episode.
Yeah.
No, I'm so Shoshanna. Like, I'm putting a big hat on. I love to go detective mode.
Yes.
I went to a gay bar in New Orleans 2 weeks ago. I pulled out a paper about the leather times, and I just waited for 6-year-old men to approach me, and I asked them questions about the leather community to discover what was going on there. And it's like, that's what Shoshanna did here. She just wants to know what's going on. She's pulling out a newspaper and she's trying to find out the best information she can.
Totally.
Yeah, so Shoshanna.
Yeah.
Okay, your show.
I'm so sorry for what I just did.
No, that's fine. Sometimes you need to do that, you know?
Girl, what girl are you?
So I actually am really feeling connected to Tally Schifrin, just in that when she has a breakdown and is like, nothing happens to me. I actually have nothing to write an essay about. Yeah. My whole thing is like, I know I should be writing. And it's like, I actually have nothing to write because all I do is go to open mics and make TikTok clips for my podcast. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm not really living the life of a young person. Like when she's like going on and on about like how Hannah's had all these experiences and is like really living life. It's like, I feel like I've spent like all of my 20s and I'm freaking out this week specifically because I'm turning 26 and I'm like, okay, I spent my whole early 20s like not doing anything that's actually real.
Right. That's so not true though.
Yeah, it's like that it's not true.
And you guys are being so Hannah right now by by saying that. It's like, yeah, I put out a book of poetry, so I'm fine. It's like I didn't even do that.
We can get you to kiss a boy.
I need to stop my celibacy soon.
Oh, are you having a celibate moment?
Yeah.
Oh.
Has it been going on for a long time?
Well, almost like forever.
I'm like the cicadas are lapping your ass.
2 years.
Oh, yeah.
The who?
2 years.
The cicadas that are now all horny from the fungus.
Oh,
they're
yes,
lapping
yes.
your ass.
What's a cicada?
Cicada.
No, girl. We can't go into cicadas right now.
Oh, cicadas. In the summertime, it's
they come out like
a chaperone
every 8 to 12 years.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, really connected to Tally, except I don't have a book deal and no one's asked me to give a TEDx Woman speech yet.
I can't believe that.
I'll get there.
You will. You totally will.
And I'll be pissed off at MRH when I'm there.
You also like can't like take stock or inventory in your life like when you're like in this moment. Like when you're like when you turn 30 and you look back, you're like, oh my God, I did do all these amazing things.
Wait, Amelia, don't you remember when you lost your credit cards, phone, keys in Deep Ridgewood? That's for the essay book. That's
I know, but I did that because I was like, I haven't had anything to write an essay about in 2 years.
So let me lose all my earthly possessions.
Let me get lost in the Broadway Junction.
We've all been there, honey. I've gotten lost there too.
It's hell down there.
It's crazy.
There's nowhere to dock a city bike that you checked out.
No,
girl, you keep having moments. We were in Miami this week. There's a picture of Selena Gomez on the wall. Amelia refused to let me have it, and she said for about 35 minutes it wasn't Selena Gomez. We're screaming into Miami Joe's pizza location.
I know what Selena looks like, and that wasn't her. Okay,
that's an essay, girl. Please.
That is an
If
essay.
anything
Short essay
is.
for
That
sure.
is totally an essay.
Yeah,
it's
imagine going to the
amazing.
only gay bar in Wynwood and it's
Yeah.
only straight guys there. That's an essay.
Right.
Except for 3 Spanish men who gave me a beer and then ran away
Why'd they run away?
because they didn't speak English.
It was very.
Yeah.
Evan was trying their best to communicate non-verbally, and
I kept
it
going
was,
like kiss and I touched my lips. They're like, hey, and then like
Kiss
put their
is
arm
so
around
funny.
me. It's like you
Yes.
don't know the word kiss.
Totally.
And then like Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten's in the background, and I'm just kind of like doing Zumba dance, just like trying to make the best of it.
I mean, that's an essay.
That's
like,
an essay.
You're
Please.
Listen,
right.
it's happening.
I need to relax. I need
Yeah.
to smoke a fatty J.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved that scene.
Do you like weed?
So good.
I have an interesting relationship with weed. I like when I was in my early 20s, I was
In Chicago.
I was smoking every day. I would wake up and smoke. I was like sort of my like
You're wake and baking.
my wake and bake, like
Thank
Casey
God.
Musgraves. Like I was waking baking. I was like eating an
my
edible.
God.
Like I really was smoking a lot of weed in Chicago
Oh my
and like
God.
a little bit in my like when I first moved to New York. But like as I'm getting older, my anxiety has just gotten a lot worse. So I can't
That
do it as
sounds
No,
bad.
you're
can't do it as
neurotic. You're
casually.
neurotic.
Yeah, right. Sorry,
No,
yeah,
there's
neurotic.
something really upsetting to me about the idea that like as you get older you become more anxious.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem fair or right.
I know it really doesn't. Life just kind of gets increasingly harder. So you have to like, and you'd think like, oh, like weed, but and that used to be the case where I would smoke and it would help alleviate my anxiety, but
Right.
it just magnifies everything for me. It makes it everything like, and if it's
Oh
just
my
a little
God.
seedling of doubt, self-doubt, or anxiety, it magnifies it.
Weed sounds a lot like becoming a vampire in Vampire Diaries.
Yeah,
Everything is magnified.
yeah. I mean, I wish I just like in order for me to smoke weed now, I have to be like in sort of a perfect mental space
Right.
Totally.
where it's
Oh
like
my
I just had a
God.
major win, and I'm like, now I can do it, and nothing will creep in.
How?
I just go envy nonverbal every time I smoke
Oh,
weed.
really? Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And we all have our places.
Right.
I'm like, you want to shut me up? Put
Yeah.
a joint in my mouth.
Right,
Thank
right.
God.
Totally.
I just started thinking about the past and not
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
So it's
Your
like,
regrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in just like thinking about the present
Yeah.
as if it was the past already.
Interesting.
how I would
oh, it's
already
like time's
remember-
already slipping away.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But there's a song about that.
Yeah.
Something
is it?
slipping through your fingers.
Yeah.
From Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Slipping through my finger. Leaning into Lena. Let's start with Marnie because it's simple. She has a love dream, not a sex dream, about Ray in the midst of her divorce from Desi. And she's judging it. But I think in her new era post-divorce, she's trying to figure out what's going to make her happy rather
Right.
than what's going to look good on paper.
Totally.
She's considering this for the first time. And
Right.
she says, okay, well, old Marnie would be like, Ray's not good enough. No. But new Marnie is answering the call from within that says Ray is perfect for her.
Totally. And I think she's like, I think what's interesting is like coming off this relationship with Desi and this like everything's in the clouds, everything is bullshitty, you know.
Yeah.
Ray is sort of this like extreme
Ray.
opposite, side of the spectrum, this like kind of like gruff New Yorker who like is a realist. And I think that like that is appealing to her.
Marnie
Of
needs a
course.
realist
She's a
after dealing
realist.
with the nonsensical
bullshit.
poetry of Desi.
God, yes.
Well, I think we always are touching back on this, but like her big problem with Ray is he didn't always look so great on paper. Like he didn't have a job, but now he's in a much more like impressive position. Like he's
Yeah.
running a coffee shop, even though it's running into the ground.
Yeah.
He's a city councilman. Like Marnie loves those things on paper, but she's also like letting herself be free in a way
Right.
where she was so restricted, being like, here's this guy, he's a successful artist. This is so fantastic. Let me like lock this down. Especially something that like wasn't so obtainable for her. But now like Ray, the easy option, was actually like the good option too. Can you imagine having both things? That's awesome.
And also, it's like I'm realizing this moment, like Ray actually really inspired her to sing. Like
Ray-
he's in that
Really?
moment where he's like, "What do you want to do?" And she's like, "Sing." And he's like, "What?" But he's the first one to like really like push her and challenge her and like ask her what she wants.
Literally, and like believe in her. Like one season ago exactly, Desi doesn't show up to their like
Right.
album recording, and Ray shows up and is like, "You can do it yourself. You're a rock star."
Yeah,
Marnie."
like he is really supportive.
He is.
And he's directing this episode, so I always find it
Yeah.
interesting when like a director directs like kind of like sexual acts for themselves. So
Totally.
it's like, this is the way I like to be kissed.
Yeah,
it's kind of
right.
awesome.
It is.
You get a little bit more insight into it.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because I mean, Hannah's done that, or Lena's done that plenty of times where she's
Mhm.
directed herself in sexual positions. Like,
Mhm.
what a crazy position to be in. And it's like fun to get to see people really like take that kind of ownership and like, take this kind of new look on it all.
Well, what do you guys think about the scene where Marnie shows up at Ray's and is like, it can't be you? And now if somebody showed up at my door throwing themselves at me but saying things like, I can't believe I like you, it doesn't seem right that I would want to be with you, like that's actually bullying, no offense.
Right to do that. But I think that there's like, I think Ray is like eternally charmed by her like honesty with him, and like that she's just sort of like, I have major reservations about this, but I'm still into you.
Yeah, I guess in one way it's charming. In another way, it would be bad for my self-esteem.
Oh, I personally could never do that. If someone came knocking and was like, I'm into you, but I like wholeheartedly or mostly believe this is not gonna be good, I would be running. I'd be like, absolutely not.
Literally, I will say every time the doorbell rings, I like am hoping it's a potential love interest.
Of course,
it is usually the UPS man. So like for it to finally be,
literally, also, no one just shows up anymore. No one's showing up.
No, it's the one thing I want in this world. No one would ever do that for me.
No one's showing up ever. You know, we don't do that.
We don't even call without permission.
No.
Usually,
can I call you? Can I FaceTime? It's like, just call. What would that look like?
No, but by the way, when people do, I never answer.
How would you feel if someone kind of came by your house, rang the doorbell, kissed you?
Well, of course, if it's the right person, right?
Oh, and
but
BF.
Yeah.
I
would love for your live-in boyfriend to ring your doorbell and kiss you.
He kiss me? That'd be so sweet.
Wait, he should.
Yeah.
That would be so romantic.
Ned, do it.
I don't think I would like that very much.
You don't?
No, let's go out first.
Okay.
Don't just come to my house.
They've hooked up. They're friends with Ben's.
Right.
What about your friends with Ben's comes around to your apartment?
Well, let's get pasta first.
Interesting.
No, I'm like, I'm always internally wishing that someone's ringing my doorbell is also in love with me. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm there for it. I'm gonna have.
I need to clean the apartment.
Are you guys? Can you O from L, orgasm from love?
Wait. Like like you're
like
saying
Marnie
like
style in this dream.
Oh, interesting.
No, and again, when Elijah says, Marnie, you can't come, I'm like, literally me.
Oh, really? I don't like. It's been a long time since I've like had like a dream like that where I'm like, like when I was a teenager, it would happen all the time. But like, no, I haven't had that in a long time. Have you?
Okay, I can do that without actually even dream format.
Really? Really?
I'm such a love whore.
Oh my god.
I think.
That's
we
so
have to,
funny.
Of course, dig back some more layers. Yeah. But yeah, no, I really am like, I don't know if I'm unconventionally horny.
Oh, me too. Like I'm too.
Literally. I'm like, it's sure sexual body's awesome, great, but I'm like, you do something kind for me, I'm like, that's gonna get me harder than anything else.
Yes. Oh, that's so funny.
And I'm kind of bravely, basically asexual, and I do dream of labor.
You're kidding.
You know that tweet that's like, I don't dream of labor. I'm like, that's all I dream about. I'll go to bed and I'll be in Google Calendar in my dream. Like,
oh my God, only when you take ADHD medicine.
Every time I take Adderall and then have to go to bed, I'll like deep clean my car in my dream, and then I'll wake up and be like, I sold that to CarMax 5 years ago.
Okay, so your dreams are like all like getting shit done.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I might as well check it off in the dreamscape.
That's so funny.
Gotta get it done.
Get it done. Yeah. Okay, and then if we can even go further into Ray and Shoshanna, kind of a nice little parallel situation.
They're so sweet. On. Like, it's interesting how they're...
When Ray smiles and is like, Shosh, is that you? You're back?
It's so sweet, and it's like, I don't know, like, I think she like she genuinely loves him and cares about him.
Are you friends with any of your exes?
No, I've never been one of those. Like, I think it's okay. Like, I think it's cool when people can do that, like when they can be friends with their exes in a real way. But for me, I'm just sort of like, I need to have that boundary. There's kind of no reason for me.
Do you ever run into that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, especially with like, you know, you date comedians sometimes as, you know, so you run into people that you know, but it's like, there's no bad blood. Like, I don't actually have any bad blood with anyone I've dated, but it's just, what are we going to, you know what I mean? What are we going to do? It's like, it's almost like the chapter's closed. Right. Let's move on.
What do you think I should do? Because I dated a comedian. Yes. We broke up.
Okay.
We're in the same gay friend group.
Okay.
They're in the same gay group chat.
That's hard. That's hard. I mean, I'm dealing with this right now in my friend group. Yeah. There's no advice. I mean, the advice is just like,
wait, a different gay guy from Westminster has to have advice.
Yes. Back. I mean, I think that like you just have to like establish boundaries where you can, and like, you know, if you're feeling weird or uncomfortable, then like you just maybe pause a bit on the group chat.
Right.
I don't know.
I have so much anger in my heart.
You do.
I know, and I'm not an angry person, so for me to be feeling this is, of course, making me neurotic.
You just got to do more cardio.
No, I've only been doing.
Run it out, right?
Yeah.
Does that work? I don't know.
It does.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but then I keep listening to songs about how people are mad at their exes. Not on purpose, but
it's every song.
It's every song, by the way.
I think you should do what Shosh does and turn their local business around using new marketing skills.
I have a marketing degree and a hat like that.
Oh my god!
So I could try.
Yeah.
I don't have a business.
Also, I think like I know I hate to say this, but it's true. Like you'll meet someone new, and then it'll ease the heartache, and it'll ease the tension.
You are so wise.
That's all there is. I mean, that's like that's the ultimate cure. I know it's like maybe that's like not the best advice. It's true. You can do that for yourself, of course.
Yeah.
But you know,
well, I listened to a 7-part podcast series called Breakup Boot Camp, and they never mentioned that.
Well, then they're just lying to themselves.
I had to write a letter. I didn't do anything.
I mean, maybe that isn't the healthiest way. Obviously, it's like not to jump into something. You know, like crazily jump into something that you're not into.
It's
but
been
like,
long enough where
Move to Japan.
I could do that.
Yeah,
that seems much more feasible.
I wrote down because I know like sometimes you guys talk about memorable lines. Like,
oh please,
the line that like really stuck out to me in this episode is when Hannah is fighting with Fran at the beginning of the episode, and like I think it's so interesting that she like of all of her moments in the show, she like really stands up for herself, and like I found that really awesome that she has this moment of empowerment. But when she says to him like you would have like. What was it?
You would put witches.
Yes, you would have sent witches to trial in the crucible. Like, I mean, that is so funny
and smart.
And it's like it's interesting that they painted this like bad like good guy because that's such a fucking type. Like,
and it has not been represented correctly in the media ever before. And Lena Dunham said these guys are out here and they are dangerous, and I'm gonna prove it. I mean, this scene where she's finally like, yeah, I guess I am an awful girl. Yeah, I guess whatever. You want me to buy you an Uber? Like, it's time for you to go, bad boy.
I loved that, and I adored that. I was like, yeah, like stand in your power. Like, there's literally nothing he can say to you that's gonna get under your skin. And that's such a real type. He's like good dudes that are fucking awful.
I mean, Hannah, everybody shits on her all the time. They're like, she's not self-aware. She has no boundaries, blah, 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 blah. This girl knows how to stand up for herself like most girls our age do not.
She is a je ne sais quoi.
Literally. Or wait, is that the French term they said?
Yeah, so the principal's like, you really have a je ne sais quoi about you. He's like, I really do.
When she's like, sorry, I showed you my pussy, by the way.
Yeah.
Another memorable line.
He was like, honestly, no worries, babe.
Honestly, no worries, babe. I mean, it's such a good episode.
I love the direct comparison because we immediately pan to the principal after.
Word is joie de
vivre.
Sorry.
I was like, it had to be something else French.
Joie de vivre.
So, but it is interesting because I think the principal acts as like a direct comparison as an actually kind person. Like so we're depicting many men in this show, and then even the kind ones are actually bad guys as well. Yeah. And then Ray, who's seemingly a bad guy, is actually a really good guy. Mm-hmm. Here's a principal who's a good person who's also a good person. Yeah. He's kind of
it's like it's so funny because like the reason why Fran is like an undercover dick is because he wants to present as a good guy, and that's the type. Is they want to show that's the most dangerous of all are the good guys in quotes who want to present in a certain way but just don't quite get there and are undercover doing some like kind of shitty things.
It is so cool that Hannah has the clarity to be like, this is who you are, by the way.
Right.
Is like, you think you're like this, and what you actually are is like so tied to like these fake like rules of how a woman should be. Right. And like you think because I'm not adhering to them that like I'm a bad person, but actually you're just a judgmental little cuck.
And a misogynist.
Always hoping someone used the word cuck this episode.
Totally.
He was being so cuck. I mean, this breakup like scene is so powerful.
They should have just an Uber carrier. I wish they had that option back then for them.
Right.
Just put an Uber carrier, send a Tesla. I send a Toyota Black Camry somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Do you low key though relate like to Fran's character of like, it doesn't matter if I don't like you, like I love you. Like that is like, I get where it's like you have a person in your life and you can't stand them and they're like, you don't even like me, like why are we doing this? And it's like, well
it's because those people like are like they're addicted to love, like they just want to like love someone, but they aren't taking the time to get to know someone and know whether they actually like them. It's just
literally so Marnie coded.
100%. And it's like the thing with Ray is that like he's a little rough around the edges. He tells you exactly how he feels, but he's gonna at least be transparent with you and not, you know what I mean? And he will actually like someone.
And talk about being direct with someone. Elijah right here. He's finally being direct for the first time in this whole show, maybe even with his news anchor almost boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it bites him right in the ass. He's like,
know.
I'm going to the store. It might not be the world's nicest store, but I'm going to try to dress to impress for God's sake. And then he shows up being like, hey, Cliff is his name.
Dill.
Dill. Sorry. Who's
that's
Cliff?
okay. Whatever.
It doesn't matter. It's in both foods. And he's like, you know what? Here's my cards on the table. Don't you want these cards? And he's like,
no.
I want those cards. Just not your
With
hand.
You. I know.
Yeah, hell.
It is so devastating because Elijah, of course, goes to talk to Dill, and it's the first time Elijah, an aimless gay guy, has set aim on something and then is immediately shut down with "you're aimless" when it's like their first time really trying to like be like, this is what I want, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, you're in an age gap relationship. How
I am? Yeah.
Wait, you are?
Yeah. My boyfriend's 9 years younger than me.
It's not.
Oh my God.
Can you believe?
And gay, that's nothing though.
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
it's so my dad, my stepmom.
Oh really? Yeah.
They're longer.
I mean, so I met.
Yeah, they're 11 years instead of 9. Just for the folks.
I mean, I say 9, but it's like more times than not 10. I'm just saying 9.
He's 18.
Yeah,
He's
right.
18,
No. Like we actually met in the pandemic. Like a friend set us up through Twitter.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait,
magic can happen on
every other couple I know in Brooklyn comedy right now, you met through Twitter. People met through TikTok. I know so many Brooklyn comedian couples that met through TikTok.
A friend. I was so sad. I was so depressed, living in Park Slope, house sitting for a friend of mine, and I was chatting with my friend. And I was like, I'm so sad. Like I'm feeling blue. And he was like, oh, like there's this gay guy that I know who's been tweeting about also feeling blue and living in Park Slope. Like you should reach out to him. And I was like, oh. And then I reached out.
Oh,
and my boyfriend was like tweeting about finishing a book, and I just slid into his DMs.
Oh,
and
your
I was like,
writer?
I was like, what book? So you don't need much. You don't need much game. My pickup line was what book?
Wait,
that's
and
it.
Then now you're in love.
Now we're in love. We've been together for 4 years.
Together?
What's up?
Melancholy brought you together.
Yeah, melancholy brought us together, and
Oh
then it
my
was like that was it. Yeah, we went on a walk in the park, and that was it.
People love to say that Twitter is a waste of time.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I know. I mean, oh God, Twitter, but yeah, brought us together. It was really my friend Cole set us up, but.
And
no,
so
but good enough.
you're Dill in the situation.
I'm Dill, but I was like saying yes to. Yeah, I was saying yes to love. I was open to it with him.
He's at least reading a book.
Yeah. Or at least reading a book. I can't say that for all the
sad
people. Right, that's true.
No, I'm sure you're reading. I'm sorry to put that on you.
Well, am I? You know, I am sometimes.
Is it okay what happened to you in the pandemic here?
Yeah.
Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling much better. I mean, I lived in down the street in Bushwick during the pandemic, and it was really hard. But I had like a little, I lived with a couple, and it was fine, but also just like, everyone was kind of going through it, but like it was especially bad. I think like it was just gray, and we were stuck inside, but it was fine.
Well, you peed and bee.
Yeah.
What?
Pandemic in Bushwick.
Oh my God, Jenny Slate is back. We have not seen this girl in seasons. Last time we saw her was at her book release.
Season 1.
Classic
episode 6, I think.
Classic episode.
I mean, what was her book called again?
Like Through the something. It was like a very dramatic title.
It was like Tally is me.
Like Hannah has that line like, her boyfriend
like
killed himself.
God,
she's so lucky.
So good.
So funny.
How does Tally come back? She's pedaling her bike in Greenpoint, and she's like, Hannah.
Yeah, and then like she's like initially Hannah's like so pissed to see her, and she's trying to like brag a little bit. And then they just have that exchange, and she's like, oh, I have some time free. Do you want to hang out? And she's like, yeah.
She's like, I'm actually technically free until I have to go home for Thanksgiving.
Right, I forgot.
Because also Hannah quits her job.
Right.
It's the summer, so she's not working right now, but she goes to pick up her stuff from the school, talks to the principal, and it says, I don't think I'm going to come back in the school year. So.
Right.
So Hannah, no boyfriend, no best friend, no job.
Right.
Runs into Tally, the
like
queen
Iggy
of
Azalea
everything.
song.
Right. In the middle of Miami.
In the middle of Miami.
Literally.
Yeah, totally.
But she's in the middle of Greenpoint, right by Action Burger.
Which is actually Williamsburg.
Right, that's true. And then they go to Griff hot dogs, right?
Griff hot dogs.
Griff hot dogs.
7 hot dogs each. That's a lot.
Is that what they get? Oh yeah, totally. And they get to it and they talk about Mimi Rose Howard.
I think Hannah wanted.
Wanted. She's like, I would eat 7, yeah. Which I loved. Like that was the moment where Hannah was like, oh, this is a real one. Like where they're like, one. She's like, I think Tally is like, if that bitch messes with me one more time at like a women's TEDx conference.
Mimi Rose Howard.
Yeah, Mimi Rose Howard.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of when I think Hannah switches and is like, oh, maybe this is someone that I actually like. This could be my girl.
She's like, wait, maybe we do have community. Cause
this is a classic line. Enemy of your enemy is your dearest ally and friend.
Right.
Jenny Slate is the funniest actress of all time. We all watch the behind the scenes.
Yes.
And she's like, I love this interaction where Lena's like, I love bike riding. It's the most fun I've ever had filming a show. And then Jenny's like, I'm scared of bikes. It's so fun.
Totally. And I also love in that scene. It's such like a beautiful line that feels so quintessentially like Lena Dunham when she's like talking about Jessa and Adam, and she's like, I love them both so much. I don't know who to warn about the other.
It's such a beautiful line.
Like,
also to be so hurt by them two, and also
love them.
like be able to admit to Tally Schifrin, like, and I miss them a lot.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I thought that was a beautiful. It just felt like that is such a beautiful, perfect line.
I heard that line and I paused my computer and I screamed out loud.
I know.
I'm not joking.
She's just such a gifted writer.
Hannah's like, Tally makes me feel so insecure. Her life is perfect. And then they decide to smoke weed.
Yeah.
They steal a bike.
Yeah.
Well, the steal without consequences. There's so many funny parts of that because it's like everyone steals without consequence. Why can't I? Which is like, I live by that.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, girl, what girl are you? You're Tally because you're always stealing stuff and
encouraging
other people to
I love that. Wait, let's talk about
Airport.
This. Let's talk about this.
I was in the Orlando airport for a 7-hour layover by accident because they canceled my flight, and then instead of going directly to Miami, I had to spend 7 hours in
Evan
Terminal
stole
C.
3 phone chargers because he kept losing them.
And then I'm living for this.
Well, I got one, and then I lost another one, so I had to go back and steal another from a different store, Hudson News.
Oh my God. Okay. I also steal.
Of course.
Like, here's what mine's like nothing major.
Like a guy from Westchester stealing. It's written
I've seen it before. But what I do is I bring a tote with me. And it's like, if you're a gay guy with a tote, you can put anything in there. And it's like, it's yours.
This is the opening of
like when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, oh, like I don't want to pay for the ground beef. Like, why do I want to pay $9 for this? I'm like, I didn't buy it. I'll just go into my tote. I'm not paying for it. So sometimes I'll do that. I'll do like, I'll pay for most of the things and I'll just like forget to buy ground beef. You know what I mean? I'm just like, Whole Foods doesn't need that from me. But
Whole Foods doesn't need that from you.
But like I get a rush too. But it's like, it's not. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm more so like, fuck the man, fuck this corporation. It's one thing of ground beef
from mom and pop shop.
Oh, you are. But I jumped
one mom and pop shop because they did our total wrong, so I stole a Kumquat.
All right,
that's not so crazy.
We went to this fruit stand, and it's called Robert is Here, and the guy Robert was working, and he literally charged us $64 for 5 mangoes.
No,
and then he accidentally typed it in as $94 because the 6 and the 9 are close together. And we had to go back and be like, sir.
So I brought a guava in my pocket.
That's fine.
Yeah,
it's okay. I jumped the turnstile the other day.
How'd it feel?
Police got a ticket.
No.
Wait. So
how
they
did you
came
not
up
see
to
them,
me.
by the way?
No, because they're on the other side.
I'll tell you. 4th Ave, 9th Street. Have you guys ever been? The FG.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay. I was coming back from a show. There was no one there. Or so I thought. Jumped over the turnstile, and they were in the stairwell. Cops come up, right up. Sir, gave me a ticket. Got
Why
nailed.
didn't you just run?
Because you can't.
No, but you could.
No, it's like they're going to chase me. Then I get another ticket for like fleeing. I don't know.
Is it against the law to run?
I think so.
That's crazy.
I think so. They were actually nice as far as officers go, but I like.
How much is the ticket?
The ticket is $100.
Okay.
I mean, it's not terrible. It's not good.
If you do the math, you have to jump
contest
25 times.
Yeah.
You already contested it?
I emailed the MTA and was like, told them my whole sob story. TBD if it reduced or if it's
You're gonna have to let us know.
I'll let you know.
And we're gonna let listeners at home know because
see.
I'm invested.
I hate to tell you this, but the same exact thing happened to me the other day, except they took pity on me because I use retinol. So they think I'm younger than I am.
Oh.
Or
so they let you go?
Yeah, I keep getting confronted.
Excuse.
They gave you a warning or like
they're like, have you ever gone in trouble with the police before? I'm like, no, because they always let me go. Yeah, because we don't have to go into all the ways, but police are always like giving me like, you shouldn't do this.
Oh,
I'm like, I have my license.
We were in Westchester.
Oh,
and
always
ran a
pretend you
stop
don't have your
sign.
license too. Always pretend, because that's how they get you, and their systems are really slow. So if you get them your license, then they can look you up. But without their license, they actually have a really hard time looking you up. So just pretend you don't have it.
Yeah, Evan ran a stop sign in Westchester, and the police tried to give them a ticket, but they didn't have their license, so they couldn't pull it up quick enough. So we just left.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but since that whole thing, I'm a woman of Jesus Christ. Like I'm not.
You're scared now.
I'm scared.
You're tapping.
I actually am scared because I don't want to get on their ticket.
It is
real
so
thing.
devastating when the cops beat you into submission.
I know. It's like I was a girl. Like I was like, fuck the man. Like I'm stealing my. I don't know why I keep saying ground beef, but that's just something that I've stolen the best. But like I'm not doing that anymore. Or at least for the next
Oh my God.
couple months.
And can we talk about the specific speech that's going on in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. In the bedroom. Yeah.
Because so we all watch behind the scenes, but Lena talks about how this is directly a way for her to talk about her own experience.
Totally.
Post being celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And like how she can't reflect on Hannah because Hannah doesn't get the accolades. She's so like behind the curb in a way that Lena isn't.
Right.
So she's finally able to like project these feelings onto
Tally. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. And it's like that whole thing about her like Googling herself and just like sort of feeling like she's not a human being or hasn't had these experiences. I thought that was interesting.
It is so I mean, are you Googling yourself ever?
No. I mean, like, if I have a show coming up, I'll like Google not myself, but the show to make sure like it's getting written about.
SEO.
But like, yeah, but like, no, I'm not really Googling myself that much. No.
That's
are you Googling?
I've
yourself?
definitely Googled myself a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I Google myself because it's really important for me to be the most famous Evan Lazarus. Like, I don't need big accolades, but I do want to be more successful than the other Evan Lazarus who does Bitcoin streams. It is like a
there's another one.
There's a lot of other Evan Lazaruses.
Totally.
And the thing I care about most is being the most popular Evan Lazarus, because the other ones are just like work in finance. It's like, please.
Like you've cornered the market in entertainment industry.
For Evan Lazarus. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm always just double checking like what's popping up. Like, is the LinkedIn high enough? Because I, of course, have a real job.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel a little too free to post stuff online. And I'm like, that can't be the top thing in the feed.
Oh, interesting.
But by the way, your most recent tweet is the first thing that pops up
when
when you Google it yourself.
Well, for me, it's always like a show poster from like 2004 and like an old headshot and like a tweet that went viral that I'm embarrassed about.
Yeah, it's like it's actually really dangerous, but you have to feel okay about it.
Yeah.
But it is so cool for Hannah to be like, I feel like I'm a failure. Okay, it's also okay. I'm literally this month 4 years out of college. So for them to be like, I'm 4 years out of college and this is what I have to show to myself is so relatable, because it is like, you know, people who like immediately like found their thing. Like they're writing these books, they have these essays, they're doing the damn thing. And then you have these people that have been like working as a barista, being a substitute, whatever, and there's like the two paths, and it is like whichever side you're on, you're looking at the other person and you're like, well, they're actually experiencing life,
right?
And then like, well, they're actually having the accolades and they are actually accomplishing something.
There's like pros and cons to both, but it's like the latter people, the group who like had to work, it's like those are my girls. Only
those are your girls.
Like, because I was talking about it with my friend the other night, like she's a writer, she's so talented, she spent like the most of her 20s into her 30s working at a restaurant. We used to do comedy together in Chicago, and she was like, like I wish that I had, found success like right after college. But it's like she has so much life experience and so many stories from like working at these restaurants and like just, I don't know, meeting different people and like has so much empathy, and it's like that's all great. It's hard, but
this is it's a very interesting parallel, because I just read Lena Dunham's essay book, and almost all her stories just talk about her earlier parts of her life. Like it's nothing more of like, she has very few essays about like her current boyfriend, her current job,
right? Because
those things are like you think would be the interesting part, like being a showrunner for girls and like dating Jack Antonoff, but like those things work so well for her, they're not actually quite they're not that interesting.
It's
It's
Alita.
it's
Yeah,
very,
of course.
but
But that's
all
all
the-
that anyone
yeah.
wants to. I mean, that's all that I'm interested in.
no, of course.
know?
Is Oberlin? Yeah.
As it's just like hearing of people's life as a kid, or when you weren't doing what you're doing, or what led you there.
I think it's
I
hard to always find
know.
it interesting in the now.
Yeah.
Like sometimes only in retrospect you're able to find like those specific nuanced moments and that interesting take. And like maybe that's part of the reason she wrote about Oberlin. And like if she was to write an essay book today, maybe it would be so much better time in Girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that's true because right now I so feel like I don't have anything to say. Like I feel like I haven't actually started living my life yet, and I'm like trying to like reach a certain level of like stability and career before I actually be born.
Totally.
And it's like, well, I have to fall in love soon.
Yeah, it will happen.
Yeah, it will.
happen.
But
Yeah.
it's
you always
like
want what you don't have. It's like
Yeah.
curly hair people always want straight hair, and straight hair people
Totally.
always want curly
God,
hair.
It's like that's it.
I need to
That's
change
it.
my makeup routine or something. Like I need something to shift.
Are you like going on dates often?
I'll go on one Hinge date every 3 months and then be like, I don't have time for this.
Okay.
And
So
it's
you're
like
just putting your career first. Right
I
now.
think I have my heart chakra closed.
Okay.
Literally.
But I also don't feel like I've had the same job for 3 years. Like I'm not
Yeah.
doing any like
Okay.
I just edit
You sound neurotic.
podcasts.
Maybe do you think friend setup would maybe be the better avenue instead of the apps?
I'm happy to set you up on a date.
Like, would you be open to
Yeah,
that?
should I ask
Friend of a
people
friend?
to set me up
Yeah.
on blind dates?
Not so like it doesn't have to be like that formal, but it could just be the kind of thing where it's like, I don't know, like you're open to dating, and you can be like, hey, do you have like
Yeah.
anyone that you like? Because it's like I don't know, I just feel like that might be different.
Open.
Open things up.
Well, this is my
Um,
frustration with Hinge is like, well, first of all, I don't want to date anybody in comedy because it feels like that
For
could be
sure.
really bad.
Yeah.
But then I actively refuse to participate in any parts of society that aren't that in my
Yeah.
free time.
Right.
And then in Hinge, like it's just like you're not meeting them in the context of their life, so it's just like a fake person.
Yeah.
Go on Twitter and tweet about how you're blue.
I have
It
to.
works
I
for all
have
my
to tweet
friends.
about being blue.
Yeah. I just think like because there's like I don't know. There's just one degree of separation between like your friend who you love and maybe someone that they also love. So maybe it could work out. I don't know.
I
Right.
love that.
I don't know, it's just a way it, like-
There is
You
so
know?
many people who are in love and they're like, our friend introduced us.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's like, I know it's like I was on the apps too. It's like it's difficult and it can feel like I don't know. It can just feel like not sexy and very like kind of like transactional.
Yeah.
So I
Culture's
just think that-
so down right
Yeah,
now. Like
yeah.
truly even straight girls are kind of not even on those
Right.
platforms anymore. So I'm like,
Right.
who could they possibly be for?
Yeah.
And like talk about neurotic characters.
Yeah.
Tally being
Tally.
like her whole vibrator story is truly one of the funniest antidotes I've ever heard.
Yeah, the electric
Antidotes.
toothbrush.
Electric toothbrush. I mean, that's a neurotic girl.
What does she say? I know I can afford a vibrator. I just don't want one, which of course I'm mad at myself for.
Which makes me feel mentally crazy.
Which makes me
I
feel
think
even
mentally
worse.
ill.
Yeah.
But it's also like just so true. Like
Yeah.
to just have that preference.
Well,
like-
don't we all
She's
have like
so
little
real.
neuroses? Like I can
Yeah.
never finish a meal or a TV show. Like I always have to save the last bite, or I can't watch the last 10 minutes of something.
Oh,
That's my own little neurose.
Wait. So it's like you want to line up your meal with the TV show?
Oh
so
no,
it's like
no,
you're
sorry. I just can't finish a TV show. Like I always leave the last 10 minutes for
Oh,
like 2
interesting.
years for me to finish.
Interesting.
I
I'm
have
like,
every Chipotle bowl is like one bite left.
oh, okay. My like maybe strange neurotic thing is like if I am listening to an album and I'm like traveling somewhere, if I know that I'm gonna arrive somewhere before the album finishes, I'll stop the album.
Oh my
my
god,
God.
Drew.
Like if I
no.
have like if I'm listening to like Ariana's new album, it's like I think it's like 35 minutes
Yeah.
or whatever, 45 minutes. If I'm like arriving somewhere and there's like 2 more songs and I know I'm gonna get there like when it's like and I still
Yeah.
have a song or something, or there's like a minute and a half left, I'm turning it off, which
Oh,
is
wait.
crazy.
They need to
Yeah.
introduce 1.5 speed on Spotify for you specifically.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
What do you think that's rooted in?
I think it's like, oh God, this is embarrassing. I think it's sort of like, maybe it's from watching TV shows and film or whatever. It's like, maybe there's this desire for like a cinematic experience where it's like
Mhm.
my life events are
Oh.
lining up with music in a way, or that it's like almost punctuating my experience.
You're
and
like
it
the
feels like
musical
messy.
score is off.
Yeah, it's like it's actually insane. I mean, it feels it's like almost bordering a little obsessive compulsive. It just feels like I want things to be kind of in a neat pack. Like when I arrive
Yeah.
home and a song is ending, I'm like, I killed it. Like I know
Yeah.
that's
So
and you know what?
satisfying.
You
There's
something
deserve to live a
satisfying.
life that is only that.
Yes, and it's like totally. It's like obviously nothing bad would happen if it didn't, but like I am conscious of it.
Please, someone has to be.
Yeah.
If it's not you, it's
Who?
gonna literally be no one else.
That's right.
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And that is beautiful.
Yay. Is there any other characters we need to touch?
Well, I think we need to talk about the amazing, incredible scene of Tally and Hannah high walking down the steps of their apartment, and we see Adam and Jessa entering to go to Laird's apartment with groceries, and that cultural exchange is really powerful.
It's incredible. And even before that, dare I say, when Hannah's like, should we fuck? I thought that was so funny. Yeah. One of the funniest lines of the whole show.
And there's like 3 seconds where they think about it.
She's like, no, I don't think so. And then they just start dancing. Like that's my I think favorite part of the whole episode. I thought that was so funny.
Such a good writer.
Such a good writer.
Well, she's so good at tying her own personal experiences into this, because that line I think is based off her personal essay where she like talks about almost like fucking this London-based writer.
Yeah.
It's like her only lesbian experience where like they got so close. The question was never asked, but it was there. And then another cultural experience she had is like at Oberlin, someone was cooking meth in their dorm, and then she puts that attribute onto Jessa during the story.
Yeah,
during the story.
That is like, oh gosh, is that funny?
It is.
It's like when you have someone that like when you have a really special moment where you can feel vulnerable with someone, it's like you are like, wait, like should we? Blurs the line between friendship and beyond, because we all want to feel safe with someone.
Yeah, like as soon as she feels a connection, she is like, well, I guess we have to fuck. And then she's like, wait, I guess we could just feel the connection in a normal way.
Right. And then when they immediately go downstairs and start laughing, it's like, it just further cements that they're girls. Like they're connected.
Girls that are girling.
Girls that are girling.
It's so nice to see, because it's so easy to have a frenemy for life, but it's so beautiful when that frenemy can become a friend.
Totally.
I want to fuck my frenemies.
Yeah.
There's something probably really hot about that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Jessa like smiling and laughing. And then being
not really
like,
getting it, but
this
like getting
is
it.
Fucked. And then she's like, well, I can't just stand here. Let's go at him. And then they walk in.
Yeah. I think it's like really truly the first moment where she's confronted with the decisions she's made.
Literally.
That whole exchange is like, so it's so chock full,
The script was scripting, even though there was no lines of dialogue.
Yeah, like it really was really, really powerful. I loved it.
I love the whole interaction, because it's like truly they could have mitigated a whole situation and be like, and we're high. And like, do you guys have a compulsion to tell people anytime you're on any kind of subs?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, of course I have to let everyone know.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's kind of both a brag and just an awareness.
Just gonna let people know where you're at.
In a point where it's like, they wish I didn't.
Yeah.
People are like, you could have left that out.
Right.
And I'm like, no, you need to know like how many vodka cranberries I've had so far. Just so we're
Do they say that they're high when they see them? Or no?
No,
they don't.
They
keep it to themselves.
Cool.
They keep it to themselves, and then we listen to Zooey Deschanel sing.
That's that.
Needle drop. I am always in a situation though where people are like, and you're high. I'm like, that's my personality.
That's just me.
So it's awesome going to be reversed. I think this brings us to our next segment.
Girl, get your Glock. It's rapid fire time. Okay, first of all, what's your favorite utensil?
Fork.
Are you a voice of your generation or a voice of a generation?
A voice of a generation.
Are you a good fucking boyfriend?
Great fucking boyfriend.
Do you think your whole thing would work for administrative assistant?
Yes.
That you meet in a sports bar.
Oh. No, I don't.
Not in a sports bar.
No.
Would you know real love if it bit your fucking tit off?
Yes, I would.
What's worse, having a love dream about Ray or actually having sex with Ray?
I think actually having sex with Ray.
Do you have a wartime attitude?
No.
With all your setbacks and your issues, do you find a way to live your life with Genevieve?
I do.
That too.
This is an amazing exercise, and we can't read. What do you think of every time you go to Brooklyn?
What do I think of? I think of bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
What are your 5 found words?
5 what?
5 found words.
Found words? Let's see.
Find them.
Okay. Pizzazz.
1.
Kava.
2.
Scary.
Middle part.
3.
Listerine.
4.
Whoa.
And 5, I'm going to say Knickerbocker.
Oh my God. And we'll figure out the rhyming scheme later.
I need you in my next improv show. Just kind of in the audience.
Are you sending the witches to trial?
No, I'm with the witches.
Ally.
Yeah.
Are you square?
Yes, sometimes.
Do you feel like 7 hot dogs right now?
Definitely.
Do you feel the view with your heart when you pedal across the Williamsburg Bridge?
Yeah.
Because you can't look, right? It's dangerous. We should smoke a Fatty J.
No.
Oh.
What would Tally Schifrin do?
She would do it.
Do you Google yourself?
No.
Do you want to brush my hair?
Yeah.
Wow. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
That was so fun.
Well, this brings us to our even last segment.
Oh my gosh.
That outfit in Brooklyn.
That's where we compare Brooklyn then to Brooklyn
now.
now.
Oh God, let's talk.
Let's
now,
talk.
how long have you been living in Brooklyn?
I'm like almost 10 years. It's like it's 8.5, 9. Yeah. I've been here for
Okay,
like
so
9
you
years.
know what it was. You know what was happening in 2016
Yeah.
a little bit.
Oh sure. It was. You know what it was? It was like that time when like the I think of the Lumineers. Do you guys know that? Who that?
Of course.
It was like very much that like, hey, ho, like that sort of like time in culture where it was like there were a lot of this like. Yeah, like Zooey Deschanel, Lumineers. It was like this kind of like, yeah, and it was like a lot of like girls are wearing like bumblebee patterns and like cut off shorts, and like it was just like cutesy is the way I would kind of describe it.
And what would
Cutesy.
you say is happening now?
Now, I also think that like people were trying to like show off their bodies more. Like it was kind of like, now it's sort of like loose.
Because I'm just seeing girls here wear jerseys and boots.
That's right.
Kind of
That's right. Jerseys and boots.
Jerseys and boots.
I think like Helvetica, the cafe, is like so is so of that time, like that kind of moment. I think we still maybe have things like that, but it's
almost
less
feel like,
precious.
I
now.
almost feel like
You're so
capitalism
right.
has gotten us so good that we're almost in a like we can't fight it anymore. Like I'm going to Variety.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Blank Street Coffee.
Blank
Yeah.
Street. I think VC coffee.
Also, I think like even though people are working from home, I think there's less of a culture of working at a coffee shop.
It's less performative.
That's very exactly. That's I think that is
much.
specifically like early aughts, 2010s, like going to the coffee shop to work. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe do you still work at the coffee shop?
No, I'm
No.
doing it at my
I'm
house.
not
But I
there.
also
I go
think
to public library.
Yeah.
it was like I remember being a teenager and watching all these TV shows, and the jokes were always like, these bitches be writing their screenplay at the coffee shop.
right.
Fuck them. And I was
Totally.
like 15, like
Totally.
taking notes. Like,
Right. Oh,
okay,
that's
it's
what's happening.
pretentious to be
Yeah.
at a coffee shop with scripts.
I think we all just realized, like, to be honest, like working at a coffee shop sucks. I
Yeah.
don't never get things done. I'm
the
always
chairs
looking
are
around.
really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm always looking around. I'm seeing like if other people being productive. Like I'm eating, I'm drinking. Like I'm on my phone. Like I'm actually not doing. I'm not doing any
I have
work.
to sometimes go to a coffee shop because I have to body double, where you like project your work onto someone else.
Oh my
So
god.
they're working, I'm working.
Interesting. Oh, so that motivates you.
It motivates me.
Every
Just
time I
around
go to a
other
coffee shop,
productive
it's a
people.
performance.
Totally. You know where
And-
It's an
I
art
actually go to
piece.
work? 2 places. You said library. Love working at the public
Love
library. Also. And I don't know if there's like a hotel in Bushwick. Working at a hotel lobby.
Oh my
That's
god.
the place to work.
No, there is, but I don't want to go to that.
No,
hotel.
it's fine. It's fine.
a hostel.
Girl. Oh yeah, totally. No,
It's
I live in
hostile.
Bushwick. Like I know. But there's a really nice hotel in Williamsburg called the Moxie. I work there all the
I
time.
like
Don't
you
get
being
me
like,
started with the
there's so-
Moxie.
You know
There's
what?
so many nice hotels in Williamsburg, and people like the Moxie.
I know it's across the street from me.
You don't
It's
understand.
right across the street from me.
The Moxie
Oh,
means
yeah.
the world to me
Oh, yeah.
because before I moved to New York City, I came to visit
You stayed
and
there?
I got convinced my dad because
To get-
my dad's a Marriott guy. He got me a stay at the Moxie. It was
wow.
lifeguard themed in the bathroom, millennial
freaking?
themed in the bed, and I
You're
said,
freaking.
"I'm fucking moving to this town."
And you, the funny thing about that is that like you're like New York is just like the Moxie. Like that's your experience
I
is kind of
literally,
informed by the
like-
Moxie.
and
You're
it's like-
I'm moving here. Like this is my new life. A lifeguard themed bathroom.
Literally, the belief that I had that living in New York City, I would be living in a hotel.
Totally. No, that's so funny.
I like walked out. I was like Webster Hall to the left, Think Coffee to the right.
This
I
is my new
said,
life.
I fucking made it.
No, that's like exactly what. But that's exactly what it is. Or you go to a when you come to New York and you see a comedy show and you're in this like huge loft and you're like, oh, this is my new life. Like this is what it's gonna be. And it's like never like that.
Literally,
Not
I like
living there.
I went to like the knitting factory and I was
You're
like,
like,
holy shit.
like I'm in it. Like,
The rest is herstory. And it's like, no, babe, you just like got a $15 double vodka grand and you're unemployed.
Right.
Get a life. But
that's so
I will
funny.
say, like, so many places that I thought would be magical have been magical.
Cool. That's
So,
exciting.
not to
New
be
York is
cheesy.
magical. It's hard to get to that, but it's not. You don't always feel like that. Most times it's hard, but it can be magical.
Literally, like, achieving small goals is the meaning of
No.
life, I'd say.
Agreed.
The big
Completely.
ones suck.
There's nothing better. The big ones are always depressing. You're like,
Yeah.
well, I guess that means nothing.
Well, that's
Right.
what Lena always.
Yeah.
Lena Dunham is always like, the worst thing to never achieving your dreams is actually achieving your dreams.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we kind of really get that with Tally here.
Oh, totally. And it's just like it never gets easy.
Is this
like depressing?
Is this the last time we hear from Tally?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god.
We only see her twice.
Oh, that's too bad, but that's okay.
It's such a fun
I gotta
write-in.
watch Stage Fright
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that her new thing?
and
Yeah.
read Tiny.
Oh,
She's
it's
a
her
special.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great. I
So
love Jenny
funny.
Slate.
She's up there with Kristen Wiig for me.
She's just divine.
I love reading YouTube comments when Jenny Slate is a guest because let me tell you, like Middle America loves this bitch.
Loves Jenny
Really?
Slate.
There's so many times I read the comments and they're like, okay, my favorite person is hated by the masses so violently. But you go to Jenny Slate comments and it's like, this girl is fucking beautiful and fucking charming. And
she
it's like,
is just charming.
But if she was
You know,
just
yeah.
charming, it wouldn't work.
Yeah,
But she has
she's
to
funny.
be beautiful too.
And that's the thing too.
She's
gorgeous.
It's so sad when people aren't pretty enough for like the crowd and
For
the
consumption.
crowd is like, fuck you, I want to kill your ass. And you're like,
crazy? It's so crazy.
it's not fair.
No.
Well, it's different for straight men, but
Yeah.
the thing about gay people and women
Yeah.
is that they have to learn how to weaponize their beauty.
Totally.
So it's like, yeah, if you're not going to be able to function that way, it's like we can't take you so seriously.
It's so crazy.
It sucks.
It's crazy. And that also like that has changed too. It's like I think about that with comedy too, how
Mhm.
there's this expectation that like in addition to being funny and in addition to like, you know,
Yeah.
being like lovable, there's also an expectation to like look hot and like do a great photo shoot and just be this kind of full package. But that's like not
Yeah.
how it always was. I think that's a new thing in the last 10 years.
Well, it's because
It
women
totally
are gay.
is.
Yeah.
I don't think literally straight men, and Matt Rife is something to be shown.
Right.
That's a
Well,
great example.
What happened is that girls who were pretty decided to be funny too, and it ruined it for everybody else.
What happened is all the actresses in LA who like weren't getting parts were like, I'll try stand up. Like my agent was like, do stand up. So they did stand up, and then it was like, oh, like these are the people I have to kind of like come up with. It's like these hot girls.
Oh my god,
who,
the
you
most
know.
beautiful woman alive,
Yeah.
who's the 18-year-old at Columbia who plays Karen in Mean Girls. What's her name?
Yeah.
Oh my
She
god.
she's done stand up.
Yeah.
She's
Everyone's
like,
doing
I did stand up
stand-up.
at 16.
Everyone's
I'm
doing
like,
stand-up.
no,
It's
you
crazy.
shouldn't have.
It's crazy. I mean, it's like it's great. Like we should all feel sexy and in our flows in our body, but there is an
Shout out
expectation.
Taylor Tomlinson. I'm telling you, I'm on like Facebook Shorts, and all the comments are like, it's all these men being like, I love her, I can't put my finger on it. I'm like, it's because you think she's also hot.
Right. It's because someone who's like, yeah, it's just like it's like a gal's girl, you know, girl's
Yeah.
girl kind of moment where it's like, yeah, she's really funny and doesn't hurt that she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't quite figure it out.
Well, that was kind of a perfect app.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
Wait.
this is so fun.
Thanks so much for being
Thank
on.
Are you
so
kidding?
much.
Thanks so much for
This
having
was so
me.
fun.
This was so fun, truly.
Where
I had
can
a
people
blast.
find you?
You can find me on Twitter, now X, and Instagram at I'm
Are you
Drew
on Threads?
Anderson. No, I'm not on Threads.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm
No
Drew
one
Anderson.
is.
Yeah.
And you just missed their amazing show at Littlefield.
Yeah, it's too
Julia,
bad. Yeah.
you would have loved it.
Would have loved it. I'm fingers
loved
crossed,
it.
hoping that it was great. But you know,
That's so fun to
There's
have
no
a
way
friend
for
for
it not to
6
be.
years.
yeah. I mean, I've known Julia for even longer than that. We just did the show last time we did it was 7 years ago.
Oh my
and
god.
she's one of Julia Shiplett. Shout out to Julia. I love her. Known her since Chicago.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
known her a long time.
She
Yeah.
seems like a cool girl.
She's the best.
Capital cool.
She is so cool. Yeah, you'll have to.
We
hang
got to
with
reach
her.
out to her.
Yeah, do it.
We
Literally.
will.
She's great. She's
Okay,
the
love
best.
it.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Guys, we'll be back next week with the season finale of season 5. Oh my
Ba-ba.
god, can you believe it? Lena's gonna be at the Moth. It's gonna be incredible. Check
I
it
love the
out.
moth.
Yeah.
It was
We'll-
off on the map.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.